just do a little.
Pantiin takki päälle ihan tuossa villatakissa oltiin ensiksi.
Meet Barad and we're in Helsinki, Finland. Yeah. Okay. Can he please say his full name, date of birth, and where he was born?
Joo. Elikkä jos ihan ensimmäiseksi, you want him to, is it like, which way is it better? He's talking here right now.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the way it is. Is there a light here? Maybe that light will turn off. The camera light, I know it bothers people at times.
Haluatko enemmän valoa?
You want more light? You can put it on if, yeah.
Siinä, se on siellä ylhäällä. Se,
other side.
black.
Oh, okay. And hopefully that...
Sitä voi kääntää.
Yläosa
kääntyy kanssa.
Yeah.
I think if it does this,
no, niin.
Siinä on muuten juuri näkyy mielenkiintoinen valokuva tuossa. Minä vaikutin marssin ensimmäisenä tasavallan presidentin vastaanotolla.
I think you might be able to recognize where that photo is taken now.
Yeah.
Vuonna 11.
It's the every single year President of the Republic holds this Independence Day reception where a couple of thousand people are invited and the veterans are always the guests of honor. And he was there in 2011 and that's him as the first veteran entering the... Because veterans are always the first ones to enter.
Yeah.
And that's because he shakes hands with like thousands of people that night.
Tavallisesti aina Mannerheimista ritarit astuvat ensimmäisenä, mutta nyt se viimeinen ritari ei päässyt. Ja me olin muista veteraaneista vanhin, niin minä sain kunnian ensimmäisenä astua tasavallan päämiehen kättelyyn.
Are you familiar with the cross of the Mannerheim cross and the Knights of the Mannerheim cross?
Sort of, but not. Can explain it more?
Yeah, there were 191 of them. I can explain it later. There were 191 of them, and 4 of them were rewarded the cross twice. And they have traditionally been the first ones to enter. But only one of them is still alive today, and he couldn't make it that year. So he was age-wise, he was a senior, the most senior veteran. So he got the honor of being the first guest of the entire reception to walk in through those doors.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so how old is he, or what year was he born?
Yes, we're going to start with that. Elikkä jos ihan ensimmäiseksi kerrot sun koko nimes ja syntymäpäivän ja missä oot syntynyt.
Anteeksi.
Jos ihan ensimmäiseksi kerrot sun koko nimen, syntymäpäivän ja missä oot syntynyt.
Kai minä muistan sen vielä.
I hope I can still remember when I was born.
Antti Henttonen. 2 T:llä. Henttonen. Olen syntynyt Karjalan Kannaksella Andrean pitäjän Henttolan kylän Anttilan talossa. Vanha sukutila, jossa isä oli 10. sukupolvi, viljeli omaa tilaa, mutta venäläiset veivät sen tilan.
Koska sä oot syntynyt?
Mitä?
Syntymäaika. Syntymäaika jäi mainitsematta.
Anteeksi.
Syntymäaika.
3.3.22.
So, this is Antti Henttonen. He was born in 1922.
Ja syntymäpaikka on Antrea Viipurin lähellä.
So he was born in March the 3rd in 1922. He was born in the village of Antrea, close to Viborg, in the Karelian Isthmus. He was born in a house where his father was the 10th generation to farm it. The land, but then, obviously the Russians took it.
Okay. Can he describe his... he was probably too young for the Winter War.
No, he was in the Winter War.
Oh, he was in the Winter War?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted one.
Oh, yeah. Can he describe his experiences with the Winter War? His experiences with fighting in the Winter War?
Where do you want to start? You want to narrow it down a bit?
Maybe the beginning of right before the Winter War, then the Winter War.
Miten sä olit 17-vuotias, kun talvisota syttyi?
Kyllä.
Minkälaista se oli? Minkälaista oli se aika, joka johti sotaan, ja sitten minkälaista oli, kun se sota tuli?
Se syksy oli aika synkkää aikaa, kun näytti pahalta, että voi tulla sotaa.
The autumn of 1939 was a very bleak time because the war was beginning to look more and more imminent and more likely.
Ja me olimme lähellä Venäjän rajaa siellä.
And of course, you know, being where he was born, he was living, they were very close to the Russian border.
Sitten se alkoi 30. päivä marraskuuta minun nimipäivänäni.
On his name day, on the November 30th, the war finally broke out.
Ja minä muistan, me lähdimme isäni kanssa hakemaan lehmien kuivikesammalia läheiseltä suolta, mihin olimme kesällä niitä kuivanneet. Ja kun menimme sinne, me kuulimme 10 kilometrin päässä olevan rautatieaseman suunnalta kovaa kolinaa. Ja kun tulimme takaisin, niin naapurin mies tiesi, että sota on syttynyt. Venäläinen pommilentokone oli pudonnut maahan.
Okay, so oliko se lehmiä?
Mitä?
Lehmien kuivikkeet.
So
Suomalaiset hävittäjät pudottivat vihollisen pommikoneen.
Odota vähän.
In the morning he set out with his father to pick up this. I'm gonna have to look it up what it means. It's this. Mihin kuiviketta käytetään?
Lehmien alle, että se imee
In a cow shed underneath the cow. There's this like what's it called?
Like the udders?
No, the it's not like it's sometimes hay that they walk like they put in those in the cow shed that the cows tread on. That absorbs, like, you know, because they pee in there and everything, it's like absorbs it.
Yeah, is it hay? I don't know.
Sometimes it's hay, sometimes it's this. In this particular case, it was moss. It was
okay.
moss that they had prepared, left dry in a nearby swamp, and they went with his father to collect it. And then they heard this rumble from a railway station that was 10 kilometers away. And then when they came back, the neighbor was able to tell them that was the Finnish pilots who just shut
Se
down the
kone
Russian
putosi
border.
noin 10 kilometrin päähän kodistani.
So yeah, there was the Finnish pilots who shot down a Russian bomber, and it fell down like 10 kilometers away from them, but they could still hear the sound.
Okay.
No sitten.
Sitten se jatkuu, se muuttui jokapäiväiseksi. Meiltä oli lähteneet kotoa äiti ja 2 pikkuveljeäni evakkoon jo 2 viikkoa aikaisemmin.
And so then the neighbor told them, well, war has started. And then after that, you know, all this became an everyday occurrence. And his mother and his 2 younger brothers had already fled like 2 weeks prior to that. Because, I mean, you know, almost 500,000 people ended up as
Kun rajaseudun asukkaita kulki kotipihamme ohi kulkevaa maantietä pitkin pois kotoa.
So those living in the border zone, they fled, and the streams of it would walk past their house would walk the street past their house every day.
Ja se oli tosiaan viimeinen päivä marraskuuta, minun nimipäiväni.
Se sanoi.
Okay, and then
Milloin se
when did he become?
summa muuttui sitten?
And then he, so was he drafted, or did he volunteer and just start fighting in the Winter War? Or how did that work?
Ja miten sitten sun sotapolku, miten se alkoi?
Mikä?
Sun sotapolku, miten sinä sinne sotaan jouduit?
No sitten helmikuussa venäläiset saivat rintamamurtuman Summan kylässä Karjalan kannaksella. Silloin tarvittiin apuvoimia sinne, eikä löytynyt muita kuin meitä 17-vuotiaita ja vähän nuorempia suojeluskuntapoikia. Niin meitä vietiin sinne 1 pataljoonallinen ajamaan pois tätä vihollista ja estämään sen murtuman laajeneminen.
So then in February 1940, the Russians broke the front in Summa. Are you familiar with these locations?
No, I don't know that location.
Okay, well, you can always look them up later.
Summa oli talvisodan kuuluisin paikka.
It was the most famous battlefield or location in the Winter War. And the Russians broke the front there.
Okay.
So remember when I was telling you about the Home Guard and the Lotusvad? He was part of the Home Guard. So 17-year-old and even younger than that, they gathered a whole battalion of them and sent there to fight the Russians and in order to try and prevent the front from breaking, the defense line from breaking even more.
And then can you tell me some of his experiences in the with fighting and I guess just his experiences in the fighting.
Miten sitten kun te lähditte sinne rintamalle, joudutteko te heti tositoimiin?
No ei ihan heti. Sitten helmikuun puolivälissä niin murtui tämä rintama Summassa ja kun ei muita joukkoja löytynyt, niin Kannaksen joukkojen päällikkö soitti Viipurin suojeluskuntapiirin päällikölle, että eikö hänellä olisi lähettää mitään apumiehiä hänelle, että hänellä loppuvat miehet.
So that was in mid-February, and then they had, because I mean, of course, you know, we're talking Finland, small, Russia, huge, so they weren't the Finnish troops. They just simply didn't have any men. So the head of the troops in Karjalan-Kallas, that's the isthmus, got in touch with the Home Guard district of Viipuri, asking if he could just send anybody, and they didn't have anybody else, so they shipped out the 17-year-olds and the younger ones.
Ja meidät sitten vietiin helmikuussa Kannaksen suojeluskuntapoikia noin pataljoonan verran. Viipurin suojeluskuntapiirissä oli 22 suojeluskuntaa. Niistä kerättiin kaikki vapaana olevat nuoret pojat, jotka olivat asepuvussa olivat.
So Viipuri district had 22 Home Guard units, and everyone they could get their hands on was taken.
Ja meidät vietiin sitten sinne Summaan.
And they were taken to Summa.
Summa oli talvisodan yksi kovimmista taistelupaikoista.
And Summa saw one of the toughest battles in the Winter War.
Summa.
S-U-M-M-A.
Se oli keskikannaksella, Karjalan kannaksella.
Yeah, sort of like right in the center of the isthmus.
And then he fought in that.
Ja sitten, kun te joudutte, sanot, että ette ihan heti joutuneet tositoimiin.
No ei heti, se oli sitten helmikuun puoliväli vasta, kun me joudumme tänne Summaan.
Ja mikä siellä Summassa odotti, minkälaista se oli?
No siellä me joudumme etulinjaan ja piti niin kuin estää vihollista etenemästä meille päin.
Oliko se siellä jo sitten tämä pistimet päälle?
They were sent to the front line, absolute front line, and they were given the job of preventing the enemy from progressing.
Se oli silloin, kun me menimme sinne Summaan, niin meillä päällikön ensimmäinen komento oli, että pistimet päälle kiväreihin.
And once they arrived in Summa, their commandant's first order to them was put on the bayonets in your rifles.
Ja meillähän oli aseissa mukana pistimet. Tosin me ajattelimme, että vihollinen oli etenemässä, että mitä me nuoret pojat, joilla ei ole sotaväkikoulutusta, mitä me teemme pistimillämme. Mutta onneksi siinä oli vanhempia sotilaita ja he olivat kaivanneet maahan kuoppia ja he sieltä käsin polttopulloilla ja kasapanoksilla tuhosivat ne rintaman edessä etelevät pienet panssarivaunut. Ja joukon urahuuto pysähtyi siihen ja joukko perääntyi.
Okay, so they were sent to the front line, and they were so young, they hadn't even, we do military service in Finland. All the men do military service. So they were so young that they hadn't even done military training yet, so they were there with their bayonets, wondering like, what the hell are we going to do now? What are we going to do with bayonets? We don't know what to do with any of this. Luckily there were some older soldiers there, and they had dug some holes in the ground, and from there they fired Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
Those bottles, and then kasapanos. It's something that I don't know if it exists anywhere else. I will show you a photo of it. Maybe translation for it. And they use those to ward off the enemy. And again, remember when Shlomo talked about the hurrah, and that put an end to their chanting.
Okay.
The troops had been charging and shouting hurrah. So yeah, that put an end to that.
So the Soviet troops that charged at his group were...
That's kasapanos. I don't know if you know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen these two, but not this big one.
That's kasapanos. It's a weapon developed against the armored vehicles.
Okay.
In Finland in 1936, so I don't know if it has any actual translation.
Okay.
Yeah. Ja sitten kun se hurraa-huuto pysähtyi.
Perääntyivät sitten venäläiset.
And then the Russians retreated.
Joo, ne vetäytyivät takaisinpäin. Mutta me jäimme edelleen sinne etulinjaan estämään, etteivät ne venäläiset joukot pääse Suomen rintaman taakse.
So yeah, the Russians retreated, but they were still left in the front line to make sure that they wouldn't get behind them. So basically, they were the first ones that, and if they started an attack, they would be the first ones that they would encounter.
Ja samalla me niin kuin turvasimme, ettei Suomen armeija joudu vetäytymään.
And also in the same, also while at that, they made sure that Finnish army would not have to retreat.
Okay.
Tämä Viipulin suoriskuntapiirin päällikkö, hän oli myöhemmin jatkosodassa kenraali ja mannerheimilistin ritari. Hän muistelmissaan kertoo, että hänen sotilasuransa vaikein päätös oli komentaa nämä nuoret pojat sinne summaan.
So the head of the Viipuri Home Guard district.
Oliko se just se Puroma? Antti, oliko Puroma nimeltään tämä?
Joo.
Later on he was, oliko se talvisodassa vai jatkosodassa kenraali?
Jatkosodassa.
In the continuation war he had risen to be a general, and later he was also awarded a Mannerheim Cross, so he was part of a very select group.
Okay.
And in his memoirs he wrote that throughout his entire military career that was the toughest call of all, having to order those young men into the front in Summa.
Did he ever throw the Molotov cocktail?
Heititkö sinä koskaan semmoista polttopulloa?
En minä joutunut käyttämään.
No, he never had to do that.
En joutunut.
And so was the Molotov cocktail, it was a Finnish creation? A Finnish, was it a Finnish invention, the explosive?
I'm actually under the impression, because like we already established, Finland was not prepared for the war at all. Like there was no equipment. The months leading up to the war, Mannerheim had been pleading, the government to give more funding to the army so that they would have a chance to prepare. But he was repeatedly told that no, there will be no war. There will be no war. So when it actually broke out, they had nothing. Which is why they had to resort to this ancient weaponry. Some of them didn't work, and then improvise.
Yeah, because I heard that the story with the Molotov cocktail was that the...
Antti ei puhu Molotovin koktailista.
Oliko se polttopullo, se Molotovin cocktail, oliko se suomalaisten keksintö?
Oli.
Yeah, it was Finnish invention, yeah.
Okay, and I heard that the Finnish, or they asked Russia or the Soviet Union was bombing Finland, and they said, I guess Molotov had said that we're dropping food supplies for them.
That's different. That's Molotov's bread basket.
Oh yeah.
That's a different one. So because the bombers, they were dropping down bombs, but Russia vehemently denied it. He said that no, they're only sending food. They're only sending help. So those bombs became known as Molotov's bread basket.
Ehkä samantapaisia oli muuallakin, mutta nämä tunnetut nimet Molotovin cocktail ne annettiin Suomen rintamaan.
Yeah. So there might have been like a similar improvised devices somewhere else as well, but the name Molotov's cocktail was definitely originated in the Finnish front.
Okay, and then so did he see did he see the Soviet soldiers in the Winter War?
Joudutko sä itse koskaan niinku kahinoihin ihan niiden venäläissotilaiden kanssa?
En joutunut lähitaisteluun.
Mutta näit kuitenkin venäläissotilaita?
Juu.
Yeah, I mean he saw them, but he never had to go like head to head with one.
Okay.
No Antti, sitten se Vitsaaren juttu.
But did he say his full name?
Sehän oli talvisodassa myöskin, eikö ollut? Antti.
He said in the beginning, Antti Henttonen.
Otas nyt.
Okay.
Vitsaaren juttu, jossa sitten ammuit ensimmäisen venäläisen.
Joo. Me olimme sitten Andrean suojeluskunnan pojat. Me emme ole käyneet vielä sotaväkeä asevelvollisuutta. Niin me olimme sitten vartiotehtävissä rautatieasemilla ja Vuoksen rantakallioilla.
Oliko tämä ennen sotaa vai sodan jälkeen?
Sodassa.
Sodassa, joo.
Ja
Tullaan sinne helmikuun viimeiseen.
Anteeksi.
Helmikuun viimeiseen tai helmikuun toiseen päivään.
Vuonna 40 talvisodassa vielä kuitenkin.
Niin.
Joo.
Niin miten se Vitsaaren juttu? Mä tässä kun muistin pikkusen välillä aina.
Sitten me oltiin tuolla Vuoksen rantakallioilla vartioissa ja oli semmoinen saari nimeltään Vitsaari Äyräpäässä.
Joo, kävinkö siellä vasta?
Äyräpään rintamalla ja tuli meille viesti. Me olimme rannalla yhdessä talossa Henrikkini kanssa ja me oli hänen lähettinään. Tuli tieto, että venäläisiä on tullut siihen saareen, jossa meidän poikia oli vartiossa. Me lähdimme heti sinne ajamaan niitä pois ja onnistuimmekin sitten. Minä olin kai niin siinä 6 pojan rintamassa vähän muita edellä, niin se viimeinen kaveri sieltä nosti kiväärinsä ampuakseen minut. Mutta minä olin nopeampi. Minä ehdin ampua hänet ja hän jäi sinne.
So then, like I said, he was born in the village of Antrea. Mm-hmm. So the Home Guard, the youth division of the Home Guard of Antrea, they hadn't, like I said, they hadn't done their military service yet. So they were, as the war went on, they were also sent to do like guard.
Okay.
Because also they were given tasks that allowed men to be released into the front as well. Like the younger they were, the more they were given that kind of duties. But then he was on guard in the beachside cliffs of Vuoksi. And then
seuraavana aamuna katsomaan tätä ampumaani vihollista. Ja pojat kertoivat minun sanoneen, että eikä häntäkin jäi joku kaipaamaan kotona.
And then he was on guard, and there was this island called Vitsaari. It's in a front called Äyräpää. And then they had he was acting as a messenger for Vandekki, and I can look it up as well. It's a rank, and they were in a house, and they got a message that Russians had started descending on the island, or arriving the island. So they set out to drive them away. There were 6 boys in his group, and he was like the the first one of them. Like,
kuollut vihollinen muuttui niin kuin samalla ihmiseksi.
and then the Russians that they were sent to drive away. He saw how one of them, the last of them, raised his gun and aimed at him. So he raised his and was quicker and managed to shoot him, and that was his first kill. And then the following day they went to went out there and they saw the body, and he doesn't remember this, but the guys that he was with, they have later told him that these were his exact words when he saw the body. Maybe somewhere out there there's somebody who's missing him as well. So it's like he was no longer the enemy, he became a human being just like him.
Ja se oli sun syntymäpäivä.
And it was on his birthday.
Anteeksi,
Sun syntymäpäivänä ammuit vai sitten seuraavana päivänä?
se oli syntymäpäivän aattona.
Yeah, and that was the day before his birthday, yeah, in March, early March.
Ampuminen.
Olin vielä
He
17-vuotias,
was still 17.
kun seuraavana päivänä täytin 18 ja se menin katsomaan tätä vainajaa.
Ja otit tuon kaasunaamarilaukun sitten syntymäpäivän lahjaksi hän kertoi.
Mutta se sitten kun kotiin väkeni joutui evakkomatkoille monta kertaa, niin se laukku hävisi matkalla.
And so it was the day before his birthday. It was the eve of his birthday when he shot him, and then the following morning when he went there to see him, the body, it was his birthday. And so he took, he had this bag. The soldier had a bag where he had his gas mask.
Yeah.
So he took it as a memento souvenir birthday gift for himself. But then when his family was forced to flee, the bag was lost somewhere along the way.
Whatever happened to the body of the Soviet soldier?
Mitä sille venäläissotilaan ruumiille tapahtui?
Se ruumiille.
Niin. Jäikö se sinne vai?
Se jäi sinne lumen alle.
Yeah, it was there. It was left there and then snow fell on it.
Satoi lunta päälle.
Yeah.
And this was all during the Winter War,
Yeah.
correct?
This is in March 1940.
Ei sitä, minä en tiedä, olisivatko suomalaiset huoltojoukot nyt korjanneet pois, mutta minä en tiedä siitä.
Whatever happened after they left, he doesn't know. I mean, the Finnish, logistics, the groups, they might have, buried him, taken him somewhere. He doesn't know that.
Okay. And what was his? So at that time, did he didn't have a uniform? It was just regular clothes, and then helmet and rifle and yeah.
Siinä vaiheessa, kun teidät suojeluskuntapojat lähetettiin sinne rintamalle, niin teillähän oli ne suojeluskuntauniformut.
Anteeksi.
Kun teidät suojeluskuntalaiset lähetettiin rintamalle, niin teillä oli ne suojeluskuntauniformut.
Joo, mutta se oli sama kuin sotilaspuoli.
Joo. The Home Guard, the Youth Division, Soldier Boys, that's how they're called. They had their own uniform, which was effectively the same as the Finnish Army.
Meillä oli kahdenlaisia. Nuorimmilla pojilla oli semmoinen harmaa sarkatakki, vanhempaa pukumallia. Ja meillä vanhemmilla oli jo normaali sotilaspuku.
Yeah, the younger ones, they had this grey woolen jacket.
Okay.
But then the old ones, they had like their get up was effectively the same as the Finnish Army.
Nuoremmille pojille annettiin näitä vapaussodan ensimmäisen maailmansodan aikuisia venäläisiä sotilaspukuja.
Also the younger ones, they were given, like I said, poorly equipped in every way. The younger ones were also given the military uniforms from the Civil War, First World War, Russian uniforms.
And so they had Russian markings and everything on it?
But they were not sent to the front. Mutta niillä nuorempiahan, jos niillä nuoremmilla oli venäläisten uniformut, niinkö?
Joo, ne vanhimmat harmaata sarkaa olevat puvut olivat malliltaan erilaisia vanhempia.
Joo, mut siis sä puhuit, että ensimmäisen maailmansodan aikaisia
Joo.
venäläissotilaiden uniformeja.
Ainakin niiden mallin mukaan tehtiin.
Oh, they were not. They were.
Sitten vuonna
They were similar. They were not the Russian ones. He corrected.
Vuonna 1927 tulivat käyttöön nämä uudemman malliset suojeluskuntapuvut.
And in 1927 they introduced the new uniforms in the Home Guards.
Mutta me nuoret pojat saatoimme käyttää niitä vanhojakin vielä.
But the younger ones might have been reduced to using the older
Thank
models
you.
because they were enough for everybody.
Olet sä?
Oh, kiitoksia.
Thank you.
Tervetuloa.
Kiitoksia.
I'm gonna make sure that the camera is recording properly. Okay, yeah.
Now?
No, it's good. I think I want to see more of his face. So I'm thinking,
Kuinka pitkä hän on?
How tall are you? He wants to know.
oh, I think I'm 6'3" or 4.
190.
Ai minä olen tuonut vaikka 20 metriä.
I think I'm 6'3.5" or 6'4". I measured it my height 3 different times, and I keep on getting different. It's different each time. And just put that. Just want to get the best. Yeah. Okay, I think this is as good as. Okay. So we picked off the uniform.
Joo, niin, että
Switched.
siis, joo, eikä siis hän kysyi niistä, että minkälaiset varusteet teillä oli siellä talvisodassa. Teillä oli sotilasuniformu, oliko kypärää? Kun Suomihan oli, kun hän on tässä kuullut, että Suomi oli niin huonosti varustautunut sotaan.
Joo, eihän me oltu varustautunut eikä uskottu sodan tuloon.
Ja Finland was falling quick because nobody believed that war would actually come.
Meillä oli kahdenlaisia pukuja.
They had two kinds of uniforms.
Suojeluskuntalaisille tuli uusi pukumalli. Oliko se malli 27?
Home Guard got a new one called Model
Mutta
27.
sitten vielä nuoremmat suojeluskuntalaiset käyttivät vanhempia
But the young ones were using the old one
viime vuosisadan puolen pukumalleja.
from the previous century.
Ei kaikille saatu heti uusia pukuja.
Yeah. They didn't have time to get everybody new ones.
And so the rifle that he used to kill the first Soviet soldier was an older rifle.
Entä sitten tämän aseistus? Mistä sä saitte aseen ja minkälaisia ne aseet oli?
Meillä oli normaalit kiväärit, mutta silloin Suomeen tuli 20-luvulla semmoinen pystykorva Ukko-Pekka-niminen malli. Mutta meillä oli silloin vielä ne viime vuosisadan puolelta venäläinen kiväärimalli.
Eikö sulla ollut sitten veljesi?
Ja,
Eikö sulla ollut veljesi ase talvisodassa?
ai niin, mulla oli sikäli, että minun veljeni oli 38 asevelvollisena Kodialla. Ja hän voitti arvonnassa uuden pystykorvakiväärin. Ja minulla oli tämä veljeni ase talvisodassa mukana.
So yeah, in 19 this I will have to show you. It's named after a dog actually. It's a particular type of rifle that came to Finland in the 1920s. That was being used. Yeah, they just had only rifles and very old ones from like the previous century as well. But he got lucky in a way that his brother had done his army service in 1938, and in there he had won a raffle where he had won a brand new rifle called the rifle M28, which was later on known as pystykorva.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what type of helmet did he have?
Minkälainen kypärä oli?
Ei meillä suosikuntapuilla ollut kypäriä.
They had no helmets. The Home Guard boys
They
didn't
had
know.
Oli talvisota, niin meillä olivat karvahatut päässä.
They just had the standard issue fur-lined hats.
Okay, and then throughout the rest of the Winter War, that lasted 3.5 months around there, was there more, did he have more experiences that he would like to tell about?
Miten sitten maaliskuusta eteenpäin se lopputalvisota, minkälaisia kokemuksia siihen mahtui? Joudutko kahakoihin?
No siitä tuli tieto, että suomalaiset iloitsivat yleensä, että sota loppui, mutta me karjalaiset emme ilonneet, kun meillä ei ollut kotia mihin palata. Kun meidän kotiseutumme jäi lähes yli 400 000 asukasta joutui evakkoon. siirtolaisiksi.
So once the war ended, I mean, Finns were joyous that the war had ended, but him and the rest of the Karelians, they weren't, because they had lost everything. They had lost their homes, they had lost their lives. They had nowhere to go back to. But actually, eikö niin ollut, että kun talvisota päättyi, niin eikö Suomessa ollut kuitenkin ne alueluovutukset ja nimenomaan Karjala ja Viipurin menetys oli niin kovia, että eikö Suomessa ollut suruliputus?
Oli.
But actually,
Eikö se ollut
yeah.
talvisodan jälkeen?
But actually, when the Winter War ended,
Joo, minunkin kotini, jossa isä oli kai 10. sukupolvi viljeli maanviljelystaloa, niin se jäi sinne.
when the war ended, they actually greeted the peace with what's it called? When it's you know, when you raise a flag to commemorate something, but then when you like half-mast,
Yeah.
what's it called? Like when you're mourning someone, like when someone's like there's a death or something.
Well, yeah, the flag goes halfway down, half mast.
Yeah. So yeah, the Finland greeted peace with flags half-mast everywhere in Finland.
Oh, okay.
Because while you know everybody was happy that the war was over, the price that they had paid for the peace was so horrible because they had lost Karelia, they had lost Viborg.
Minun isäni oli muuttanut pois syntymäkodistaan hieman semmoisen lahden toiselle puolelle ja rakentanut siihen itselleen kodin. Sen nimi oli, sinne tuli isänniksi 2 Anttia peräkkäin ja talon nimeksi tuli Anttila.
Niin sitten aikaisemmin.
Yeah.
Jo 1700-luvun alussa.
Huh. Yeah. So he can actually trace his family back to like like I said, his dad was a 10th generation farmer. They can trace it back to like 18th century.
Okay.
They named the farm, they named the house after the first master, the first owner, who was named Antti, which is also his name.
Okay. And then what happened in between the year and a half before the continuation war? Where did he move and live?
I'm gonna probe a little about the rest of the war. Niin, mutta sitten se maaliskuun jälkeen, sitten se lopputalvisota.
Talvisota loppu.
Eikö niin, talvisota loppumaaliskuussa?
13. päivä.
Yeah, because I mean, war, you know, because Winter War, it finished on March 13th. So.
13. maaliskuuta se loppui.
Ja miten sitten talvisodan päättymisen ja jatkosodan alkamisen välinen 1,5 vuotta? Mites se meni?
Me oltiin täällä evakossa. Meillä oli määrätty karjalaisille jokaisen pitäjän kunnan asukkaille joku kunta täällä, mihin me piti mennä asumaan tilapäisesti.
So all the Karelians from each municipality, they were assigned a certain municipality in Finland where they would be resettled temporarily anyway, because nobody knew what the future would hold.
Okay.
Ja me asumme tuolla Etelä-Hämeessä.
And they lived in southern Savonia.
Sieltä sitten kotiväkeni isäni ja äitini ja 2 nuorinta veljeä muuttivat Karjalaan takaisin syksyllä 1941, kun Karjala saatiin takaisin.
And then in 1941, as the continuation war secured Karelia back, his isä, äiti ja 2 nuorinta.
Isä, äiti ja 2 nuorinta poikaa. Meitä oli 6 lasta.
His dad, his
Ja
mom, and 2 of his younger brothers moved back to
olin
Karelia.
vapaaehtoisena sotaväessä ja siskoni oli lottajärjestön tehtävissä myöskin isänmaan palveluksessa.
So they had 6 children altogether, and then in the fall of 1941, his dad, mom, and 2 of his younger brothers, they got to go back to Karelia. He volunteered in the army, and his sister was serving the country in Lottasvärd organization.
Minusta seuraava veljeni, joka oli syntynyt 24, vanha setäni, heillä ei ollut lapsia, niin hän meni setäni apulaiseksi hevosmieheksi.
And the brother after him, who was born in 1924, went on to live with his uncle and his wife. They didn't have children. so to help them out in their farm.
Nyt mä en,
Niin, että se meni ohi. Sittenhän sä yritit jatkosotaan aikaisemmin kuin miten siinä kävi.
joo, minä olin jo 41 kesällä tuolla Hämeenlinnan lähellä rakennustyömaalla. Ja kun siellä yhtenä yönä miehet vietiin sitten kutsuntaan, niin ja minä sitten päivisin kävin myöskin heinäpelloilla naisten ja vanhusten kanssa. Niin minua, joka olin olevina jo talvisodan veteraani, vähän harmitti olla siellä mummujen kanssa heinäpellolla. Minä menin suojeluskunta sotilaspiiriin ja kysyin, eikö minä pääsisi sen pitäjän miesten mukana
Peikkalaisten
rintamalle.
mukana.
Mutta siellä majuri sanoi, että odota poika, kohta kutsutaan. Ja syyskuussa kutsuttiin. Minä ehdin käydä siinä välissä Karjalassa kodissani.
So in 1941, in the summer, he was working on a construction site near Hämeenlinna. And then the older men who were working the same construction site, they were called to arms. But he was sent to nearby fields to help with the old women with the field work. And he was a bit gutted because hey, I'm a winter war veteran, surely I could do something too. So he went to the Home Guard office asking if he could get there, he could go to the front, join his colleagues and go to the front with the rest of them. But then the commander said that nope, just wait till you get called. And in September the call came. And before that he managed to squeeze in a visit to Karelia.
Okay, so the continuation war started, and then he joined the war 6 months after it started.
No, the continuation war started in June, and he already in the summer he wanted to join, but then in September the call came, so that was 3 months later.
Okay. And then where was he when he was sent? Where did he go in the continuation war?
Ja sitten syyskuussa, kun tuli sitten kutsu, niin mitä sitten kävi? Mihin se tie vei?
Anteeksi,
Kun syyskuussa tuli sitten se kutsu, niin mitä sitten tapahtui? Mihin se tie vei?
menimme Riihimäelle. Olimme 3 kuukautta siellä sotilaskoulutuksessa. Ja sitten vuoden alussa, tammikuun alussa, meidät lähetettiin rintamalle täydennykseksi. Siellä oli eräs erillinen rajajääkäripataljoona, joka oli menettänyt vuoden joulun seudun taisteluissa 56% vahvuudesta.
Godan taistelut.
Niin meidät vietiin näiden tilalle sinne pataljoonaan 200 miestä.
So he was sent to Riihimäki. It's about an hour's drive from Helsinki. He was sent to Riihimäki for a 3-month military training. Bearing in mind he still hadn't
Mutta
got
osa heistä palasi sitten invalidina takaisin kyllä rintamalla.
And then in the beginning of 1942, they were sent to the front because there was this a battalion of it's a Jäger. You don't have Jäger in American Army?
A Jaeger?
Jäger, yeah.
Like a hunter?
No, it's a German word used to describe a particular it's German military term. But anyway, there was a border battalion, and in the fighting of Voda, in around Christmas 1940, they had lost 50-60% of all men. Mm-hmm. So they were sent there to take over, or to join them to step in, because they had lost so many men.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, kiitos.
Some more. Some more.
You want some more?
Oh, no, I'm okay. Whatever. No, I'm okay. Thank you. So the Jaeger thing, I think that means hunter.
Yeah, it's not hunter in the army terms. It's
miettii tässä jääkärisanan alkuperää, että mitä rajajääkäri.
It's a soldier in light infantry. Yeah, Jäger, it comes from the word hunt, but it's a soldier in a light infantry, fast moving,
Okay.
That's what it's called. Because in the word came to Finland when I will explain you this later. But
Okay.
yeah, ask me. Yeah.
Okay.
Minä palvelin jatkosodassa rajajääkärin joukoissa. Ja olen saanut nyt sodan jälkeen kunnia rajajääkäri.
So he served in the border Jäger troops battalion, and after the war he was granted the title of honorary
Hänellä
border
on
Jäger.
kultainen karhunpää tuossa. Näytäpä sitä karhunpäätä sieltä taskun suuta.
And yeah, because that's the emblem of the Finnish border patrol.
Rajajääkärin joukkueen merkki.
So he was given that because he's now an honorary member.
Tämä on taas yleinen veteraanimerkki.
Yeah. And that is the oak leaf. That is a pin that all the veterans have in Finland.
Minulla oli hyvä onni, minä jäin molemmissa sodissa haavoittumattomaksi.
I was lucky I didn't get injured in either one of the wars.
So he had no wounds at all, or he was not wounded at all during.
Ei yhtään osumaa, ei mitään.
Ei.
Nothing.
Ainoa mitä oli, että sormet paleltuivat talvisodassa, mutta ne paranivat.
He froze his fingers in the winter war because, like I said, it was like the coldest winter all century or something. Like the temperatures went down to 40-50
Ja
degrees.
sulla oli niin lämpimät kengät, että sulla ei varpaat palentunut talvisodassa.
Joo, siinä
Monelta
kävi niin, että moni
paleltunut.
poika joutui lähtemään muun muassa sille summanretkelle niin hiihtokengissä suoraan
35 astetta
hiihtoladulta.
pakkasta.
Mutta minulle oli äiti teettänyt naapurissa asuvalla suutarilla vanhoista huopasaappaista huopakengät.
So he was lucky because when they were sent to Summa, many of the men